What's up, everybody? It's me, Bryson Booker, and welcome to the first installment of movie reviews I like to call the Dreamworks animation WonderThon. I'm going to be reviewing a whole lot, well, let's just say the first 4 Dreamworks animation features. And today, I have this one. This isn't the first Dreamworks animated feature. It's actually the second. The first one was Ants, actually, which will also be reviewed. This is the second, and it was released on December 18th, 1998, before Christmas. And guess what, guys? It's based on a Bible story. I like Bible stuff because it's cool, and maybe you should read it too. You know, it's pretty interesting stuff. Probably better, trends and stuff than your social media page, right? Probably better stories than that. I know. Some of you guys, don't look me up, though, because I'm not on there. But anyway, The Prince of Egypt. This was a great movie. And, I was looking on Google here, which is right by my side. It always is. And somebody actually said, was this film made by Disney? And that is a big N-O. It was made by Dreamworks. And it was their first film, in a sense, to use a mix of traditional animation and computer-generated animation. And it looks pretty beautiful. So, I'm just going to give you a summary of what the film is about, and then just share my personal take on it. So, here we go. I'm going to read this on the side here. So, in this animated retelling of the book of Exodus, the whole book, I believe from the Old Testament, yep, Egyptian Prince Moses, which is played by Val Kilmer, upon discovering his roots as a Jewish slave, sorry about that, guys, he embarks on a quest to free his people from bondage. When his plea is denied by his brother, who was now the king, which is played by Ralph Fiennes, the new pharaoh, a series of horrific plagues strike Egypt. Moses finally leads the Israelites to freedom by parting the Red Sea and drowning the Egyptian army. God then gives Moses the 10 Commandments, a list of rules for his people to live by. Basically, that just gave you a pretty darn good summary of what this movie is about. It is based on the Bible story, and the Bible story is true, and it is real. Why don't you read it sometime? Pick up a good book. Pick up the Bible, and go to the book of Exodus, and basically the whole book of Exodus talks about this. But the funny thing is, at the beginning of this movie, there's a disclaimer that pretty much says this. Hey guys, thank you for watching this movie, and well, you see, this movie is based on a book of the Bible of Exodus, and yada yada yada, and we really didn't want to label this movie as a Christian movie, more like an inspirational tale. So, we basically just summed up all the information from the book of Exodus in the movie. And we encourage you to go read the book of Exodus yourself, because obviously if we say something about God, they probably won't let us release this in theaters. Well, they didn't say all of that, but, it was a good summary of what they probably thought, before releasing this. If they actually wanted to put that disclaimer at the beginning of the movie, that's basically what they should have said. But they do a great job of summarizing the story. And guys, I read this story in the Bible for myself, so I know the parts of it, and once again, they summed it up in a great form. A lot of the parts that they missed were like small little details. Obviously, the Bible story goes more in depth than this hour and a half, 2-hour movie. The Bible story goes more in depth. There's more info. There's more info about the plagues. There's more info about the 10 Commandments. It lists the 10 Commandments. And like I said, I would encourage you to go read that maybe before watching this, so you'll have some background info. But even if you don't want to pick up the Bible because you don't want to, you can watch this movie and get inspired from it, because it's a pretty great story of how, hope and courage for your people can eventually lead you in the path of greatness, and you'll be known. And so I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. DreamWorks actually did a sequel to this. Well, it's not really considered a sequel, but it was a direct-to-video release, and it's called Joseph. I forget the other title of it, but it's called Joseph, and the Coat of Many Colors or something. But they released that in 2000, and it was kind of sort of a sequel to The Prince of Egypt, and they actually labeled that movie, the Joseph movie, as a Christian movie. So I would also encourage you to check that out. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I heard it's good. One more thing I want to say about The Prince of Egypt is the soundtrack. Not many people know this, but there were actually a total of about 2 or 3 soundtracks for The Prince of Egypt. There was the first soundtrack, the official soundtrack, which features all the scores and original songs that were in The Prince of Egypt. There's a second soundtrack which features gospel artists and songs by gospel artists like Fred Hammond, Shirley Caesar, Donnie McClurkin. You know, gospel people, you guys know who I'm talking about. Those who don't, they're gospel artists that are pretty well known, and they contributed their own songs that, you know, were inspired by The Prince of Egypt. And that was released also. That CD is, not too many people know about that CD, but it does exist, and it does have a lot of original songs from these famous gospel artists, and I encourage you to go listen to that as well. But, you know, there was a song that was actually... the Bible story has a song in itself, and it's simply titled, you know, when Moses goes, you know, to Pharaoh's army, he says, "Let my people go." Well, they made a little song about it called "Let My People Go." Doesn't that make sense? You remember that? Remember? Anybody out there remember that? Come on, Sunday school, guys. I got an idea.
Let my people go.
We will not let them go.
Let my people go.
Let them go.
Let my people
We will not let them go. We'll not let them go. We'll not let them go. Whoa.
Lord of heaven, Lord of heaven,
Lord of heaven.
Now you remember it. Doesn't it ring a bell now? See, now you know. That song was probably based off of The Prince of Egypt or the Book of Exodus. Who knows? Or, you know, some guy must have wrote it in his basement while drinking something. Who knows? I don't know. But I do know that The Prince of Egypt is a great movie. The only flaw that I would say that I had with The Prince of Egypt is this. Is the animation. The animation is good, guys. Is it Disney quality? Heck no. This is DreamWorks. But, basic summary. This is DreamWorks. But it is good. However, it does lag a little bit. By lag, I mean, you know, some scenes, you know, will move a little blocky-ish or pixely-ish, if you will, my explanation of it. But when you watch this, especially during the scene where Moses races his brother on chariots, you can see that the animation lags a little bit. Sometimes when the characters moved, their facial expressions kind of lagged a little bit. That's the only problem I have with it. The voice acting is great. The original songs aren't annoying. You know, pretty catchy. They're not annoying. Obviously, this wanted to be a Disney movie, but obviously, it's a good movie in its own right. You know, it doesn't have to be a Disney movie. You know, Disney does their own stuff. And DreamWorks did their own thing, and it was great for them. It's The Prince of Egypt, guys. Released in 1998. Go pick it up on video, like yours truly, or you can watch it on Netflix. It is on Netflix. Go check it out. Along with the sequel I was talking about, that's also on Netflix. Go check this movie out. It's a great, great movie. Check out the soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. And just, you know, keep the faith. And also check out the Bible. Pretty good book. See you later.